This podcast is sponsored in part by Benjamin Hart.
That's me!
And yours truly, Zach Arnold.
And by participation from listeners like you. So let's tune in to another episode of
IPC.
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 IPC. IPC. IPC.
IPC.
IPC. IPC. The Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast.
All the galaxies.
All for you.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast, broadcasting live right here on Fandom Empire on YouTube. My goodness, we have an incredible episode for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about something very special to a lot of us around here, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. The third season of the show was not just released. It's been out a little while, but we've taken our time getting to it. We've assembled a mighty team of panelists to talk about it. Actually, two sets of panelists. And we're going to get to one in a few minutes, and we're going to get to another in a little while. And yeah, it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. A lot of stuff happens in season 3. If you are not, and we are going to be talking about spoilers here tonight, guys. Okay, we'll try to keep it light towards the beginning, but as we go forward, there will be more spoilers. And I mean, it'll be spoilers anyway because like you're 3 seasons in. Come on, guys, come on. You got to be watching this show if you aren't already. But if you are, I think you're going to enjoy this very much a bit. And maybe if you're not, we'll convince you to watch it because it really is like genuine, like fantastic. Before we get into that, of course, introductions are in order. My name is Ben, and joining me is my good friend and co-host, Mr. Zach Arnold. How's it going, man?
I've been really distracted these first couple of minutes. I heard my name, but other than that, I've been looking at this startup OnlyFans account going on in the bottom corner.
Yeah, what's going on down there?
So the way he kind of saunters up to the camera and gives us that booby shot right there in the corner, I was like, stop it!
We're gonna get kicked off YouTube. We're like 5th episode, and we're gone. YouTube was like, nope, you're gone. Get out of here.
Nah, no banishments. But it has been a minute since this guy's been doing podcasting and such with us. So. What's up, bud? You know we can hear you, right?
I'm getting some breaking in and out. Like I keep seeing you freezing.
We can't see you at all. We have no visual.
I thought that was intentional, but apparently it's not.
Your screen is all black right now.
You're just not here.
That's on purpose.
We saw the purple light for a minute or two, and then it's just
okay,
gone.
we see you now.
There he is.
And he's got a kitty in the background. He's got lots of company. Oh dear. Yes, with Mondo, the mask policy is completely enforced, and he doesn't. Yeah, he takes the mask.
Different kind of mask, for being honest.
But yeah, I'm excited to be talking about Jurassic World. Toronto Freddy asks, what platform is it on? It is a Netflix original in partnership with DreamWorks and Amblin Entertainment. So if you have a Netflix account, that's where the new episodes drop. It's in a binge format, new seasons every so often. And it's actually really, really cool. We've talked about it here on IPC a couple of times previously. It's really surprising the direction that they've taken this show sometimes. But as a dinosaur fan, as a dino nerd, I'm just grateful that we have this kind of content, especially with Dominion being another year out. It's comforting to have more dino stuff to consume, and I've been very pleasantly surprised with how high the quality of that content has been, especially in a animated format. Obviously, I love Pixar, I love DreamWorks films, but to have something that has been this consistently good this quickly is really, really cool. And so I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to have this many people talking about it with us. We've got a couple more people that are coming in on the second half of the show, and so there's going to be a lot of voices tonight and a lot of opinions being shared, and it should be a good time. We've kind of given attention to Mondo, but let's give attention to the guy who's repping the IPC podcast on the IPC podcast. That is a baller move, and I respect the hell out of it. Back for more fun, it's Steven Schinder. Steven, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, glad to be back, but this time in video format. It's crazy. Like it's like a new era of IPC, and I love it.
Really is.
It's the dawn of something new, and it's really cool because we get to share thoughts and ideas, but we also get to have like a really engaged chat. We've got some really awesome people here at Fandom Empire. Jesse, one of our patrons, Toronto Freddy, a big contributor at the Fandom Empire channel. You know, there's a lot of engagement that goes on with having it on YouTube now, which is
congratulations to our host here at Fandom Empire. Just crossed 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing.
That is a huge accomplishment. I saw the post earlier and was like, what? That is amazing. 3,000. Like, that's a really, really big deal. And apparently Mondo is having some connectivity issues. He's trying to hop back on shortly. We will bring him in when we are able to. But, I mean, 3,000, that's a really big deal. And they get really, really consistent listenership and viewership here on this program. They just did something talking about Halloween Kills, which just had the trailer drop yesterday. All of that discussion has led to thousands of views on the last few videos that they've done, and it's just incredible to see the work that they're doing. And so congratulations to those guys. That's awesome. Toronto Freddy said he's going to have to duck out when we get to the spoiler section, which is a good point. We should probably do some spoiler-free thoughts while we wait for Mondo to rejoin the video. Steven, I'll toss it to you because you're our guest. I believe you said that you enjoyed Season 2 more than Season 1. Is that correct? How does Season 3, spoiler-free, how does Season 3 stack up to the previous two, in your opinion?
So, Season 3... I definitely enjoyed more than Season 1, but maybe not as much as Season 2. It's possible that some of that may have been due to like stuff going on in life as I was watching the season, because, you know, that can sometimes affect the viewing. But overall, I thought it was good. I didn't have as much excitement watching Season 3 as I did watching Season 2, but I did really enjoy that. Like, by this point, we all love the characters and we're invested in them, and they still kept the ball moving with the characters. And, you know, I'm still really into this. Like I've said before, that Season 2 made this my favorite aspect of the Jurassic franchise, and that's coming from someone who's not a huge Jurassic fan. So it's fun to have like this facet that I feel like it's like, yeah, this is my Jurassic whatever. And so like I enjoyed Season 3 well enough, and I'm looking forward to Season 4.
Yeah. Zach, I mean, you're the biggest Jurassic Park fan like on Earth for me. I'm curious about your opinions on this because I know you've been very excited. And what were your kind of initial spoiler-free thoughts on Season 3?
Is this going to me? Because I had connection problems.
Oh, yes, it is going to you.
Sorry. Like, my chat disconnected, my video...
We're having all kinds of problems tonight. It's just the way it is. I think we may have lost him again. Okay. Maybe I'll just give my initial impressions now.
So Ben, what did you think of Season 3?
What did I think?
What the hell is happening? What the hell? All right. I am closing down this device so that I'm not using internet on this device. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to look at the show notes on my phone because
Been there, done that.
like I literally don't know what's going on. Thank you all for your patience.
Do you want me to go, or are you think you're up to it?
I'll try. Now that I've got that thing closed down, I think I know what's going on, but it's out of my control. So I'm just gonna do what I can. Sean, our producer, says it's a server, guys. So the people who are having issues, it's on their end. Yeah, Mondo is rebooting his iPad and should be back momentarily. And speak of the devil, Mondo, are you reading us? Can't hear him. Turn on your mic, bud.
I barely heard him.
Did he speak?
I think a little tiny bit.
I mean, I heard a noise, but I wasn't sure if it was from him or not.
Can't tell. I guess we'll find out in a second. No. Save that for IPC, bud. You're not allowed to use those words on this platform.
Oh no. Naughty.
I'll give my spoiler-free thoughts on season 3, and then maybe we'll toss it to Mondo next now that we got him back. He's trying to fake us out, but I can see him breathing. My initial impressions on the season were actually pretty impressed with the extra 2 episodes that we got. That's not a spoiler. There's 10 episodes this season instead of 8, and I felt like the extra 2 were more like an epilogue. You know, the main threat is averted at the end of episode 8, and they probably could have stopped there if they wanted to, but they had more of the story to tell, and they told it in episodes 9 and 10, and I was very pleasantly surprised by how well they told it and how much more depth they added to the Jurassic franchise and the Jurassic universe with those extra 2 episodes. So they did a really good job telling the story that they wanted to tell in those 8 episodes, and then did a really good job of adding depth in those final 2 episodes to leave you wanting even more in season 4. The animation improved. The friend dynamics improved between all of the characters. The music was awesome. There was just a lot to enjoy in this season, and it was really cool taking it all in. So Mondo, while we've got you, before we have any more internet issues, fingers crossed that doesn't happen, what did you think, spoiler free thoughts on season 3?
Insane. I'm gonna take that.
I heard I'm gonna take that.
That's about all we got.
I heard I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Mondo, do you know sign language? Because we can see you, we just can't hear you.
He knows one sign, but we're not allowed to use that sign. It'll get us censored. Yeah, he's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not that one. No, not that one.
No, naughty.
No, bud. I don't know if it's your earbud to microphone connection or if it's an internet thing.
Yeah, I heard a little bit.
Not a full sentence, though.
Weird.
Weird.
I think I know what's going.
Well, maybe I'll just go with mine. Whoopsie.
He's gonna text me now. That's what his phone is for.
He's just gonna text you his initial thoughts. That's what he's gonna do.
He's texting me. Going as fast as the tech allows me to. Thank you all for your patience. This is a very unusual circumstance. Since we've switched over to YouTube, we have never done a panel before. It's just been Ben and myself, and then Sean's hopped on for a little bit every now and then. It's tough. It's not easy, especially when everybody has different commitments, when everybody has different internet speeds and capabilities. It's one of those things. So
Well,
we will try to get him back, but in the meantime, Ben, please go ahead and provide us with your spoiler-free thoughts.
yeah. So for me, I really enjoyed this season. I think it could be my favorite season overall. And I don't say that lightly because I've liked all three. I've liked all three seasons, and I thought they were all very strong. But I think what they did with this one, and kind of the duality of like these kids just basically running in place. I don't want to get too spoiler here, but like, they're on an island. We all know they're on an island. They're on Isla Nublar, and they're trying to get off of it. And that's what they're doing in this season. That's not a spoiler to say. And they do that the entire season. And it's a lot. But it's done, I think, very brilliantly. And the thematics of it all, and the action, and the horror elements of it, I think was really well done. I think they overall really did great and kept it going, because we're 3 seasons into this. We're telling a story, spoiler alert, from the first season about kids stuck on an island that's been overrun by dinosaurs, and everyone's left, and now they're marooned there. To be able to stretch that out and make it believable for 3 seasons on and going into 4 is pretty remarkable. And you have to give it credit to the writers. I think this is one of the most strongly written seasons because it digs deep into the characters, digs deep into the relationships, why they're doing what they're doing, them thinking about what's going to happen after they are, because they're obviously hopeful that they're going to get off the island eventually, and them surviving and dealing with some dark stuff, because you look at the show like, oh, it's a kiddie cartoon or whatever. It is made with kids in mind. It is obviously a show that's made for a younger audience, but it still deals with some really dark themes, really adult stuff. And I appreciate it for that. I think it did a really great job of interfacing with the Jurassic franchise, sometimes very, very, very upfront about that in ways that I didn't even expect. And then, going forward with the story, I think it was great. So I personally really enjoyed the season.
Mondo sent us a chat saying, I loved it all. And he says, can you read this? It's kind of blurry, dude, and I really don't think this is going to be an adequate way to share our thoughts for the remainder of this panel.
Give him a break. He's doing the best he can.
He's really trying. He's trying very hard, and we appreciate that. Mondo, try say something. Let's just see what will happen. Can you still hear us?
I can hear you.
I think he said, I can hear you. Sounded garbled, though.
I think he said that, but I don't understand. He's writing me privately and says he was hearing us fine in the pre-show, and then everything started glitching out when we went live. So I know it's not necessarily the server, but it's kind of weird that he would have problems and then I would have problems almost like concurrently. Like that's very.
Are you saying odd. Texas is cursed?
Yes, but not for reasons you would think. But dude, what if you used the mobile hotspot on your phone instead of your internet at the house? Just tried a different internet connection.
We're just throwing crap at the wall at this point.
Just something, anything that might mix things up a little bit. I'm not sure. Steven, while Mondo is troubleshooting, what did you make? Again, continuing to be spoiler free. What did you make of the character dynamics between the friends in this show? Because Ben brought up a good point. After a while, it's starting to feel a bit Swiss Family Robinson, a bit Gilligan's Island in nature, doing the same thing season after season, just putting a different twist on it. How do you feel like they were able to move the characters forward, or were they able to move the characters forward with the development in this season?
It felt like they were trying to shake things up with them a little bit. Like, have a little bit of conflict between them here and there, but I think ultimately it's not something I'm overtly worried about, because I feel like ultimately, like, this is a show that is meant to like have happy stuff happen. So I wasn't too concerned with the conflicts between them at times, but it was nice to have those in there because it felt real, like these are like actual people and they have their own feelings about all this stuff that's happening with them.
Jesse in the chat says, honestly loving how Mondo is choosing to interact. I mean, showing us his kitty is always a welcome delight. As long as he's not using the Oak Cliff sign language, then we'll be okay. For those of you who live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you got that reference. For those of you who don't, well, too bad. Just think of it as Dallas's Harlem, if you will. But it's all in jest. It's all in good fun. Ben,
Yeah.
some of the dinosaurs in this show, animation has improved a bit.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a little bit bolder, I feel like, as far as dinosaur choices and how they interact with the creatures. And this isn't a spoiler because it showed up in posters and stuff, but Blue from the movies showed up a little bit more in this season. And so you get some of those rather direct / indirect connections to the live action films with these dinosaurs. What did you make of the dino choices and the way that they interacted with the characters?
Yeah, it was interesting because I am not someone, I didn't grow up a dinosaur kid. I didn't, I wasn't super into dinosaurs and all this kind of stuff. So,
well, I grew up a human kid, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That was just low hanging fruit. I just left it out there. I'm glad you picked it. That
was a question they asked Chris Pratt right, like during the interview before the first movie. It was like, "Were you a dinosaur kid growing up?" And he was like, "No, I was a human kid growing up."
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So you see, you just threw me off. I'm just off and thanks a lot for that.
Dinosaurs of season 3.
But like I don't have dinosaurs memorized. I know T-Rex, Velociraptors. That's about it. Like Triceratops, like I can like point them out. But like this season introduced like a lot of dinosaurs I'd never heard of, I'd never seen before. I think that was really cool. Like obviously I hear all the time, watching videos and whatever from Jurassic Park fandom. There's this always this push to like, oh, let's see a different dinosaur we haven't seen before, or something that was only hinted at in the movies that we never actually saw. And like this season obviously gives you a lot of room to do different things and show different dinosaurs. And I think that was great. And showing, and not just going back to, using Rexy again, which she does show up, but not as much as she did last season. She's
with a
big
purpose. With a
right.
purpose, I feel like, rather than just over the top, just like there's a reason for her appearance.
Right. And I think they've shied away from the raptors in general, and especially Blue the past couple seasons. I think for one, it's really hard to have the kids outsmart raptors. It's really hard to get them in a situation and then get them out of a situation alive because Velociraptors, they're dangerous, man. They're like real scary. So I liked that they kind of saved Blue for this moment and gave her a little bit of an arc here in one or maybe 2 episodes. And it was really nice to see her again and see kind of like, yes, she's still a wild animal. She will try to eat you because she's a raptor. That's what she's bred to do. But she's still a little bit smarter than everybody else. She's still got that little bit of personality that, like, if you treat her with respect and if you gain her respect, she might not eat you. So that was fun. I think that was very fun. And, especially leading up to, what we know is going to come later. It's great. What is this? I'm
trying to bring myself back into focus. I look really fuzzy. I zoomed in to show off my hat that I got at Universal Studios, And then it's like, he's all blurry. Or maybe I'm just blind and I'm actually in focus, but my eyes can't see that. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm blurry, but I can't tell.
I can't seem to get mine out of focus, so I think I'm okay.
I'm like an episode of like a song from 21 Pilots. My name's Blurry Face, and I care what you think. We're gonna go ahead and go into spoilers now.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have to continue the discussion, even if Mondo's having technical difficulties. We appreciate him taking time out of his evening to be a part of this. It sucks that this didn't go the way that we hoped, but I think what we may do is Mondo hangs out with me a lot sometimes, and so maybe he and I can do like a special IPC hangout type of thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You can do Facebook Live in the IPC hangouts, and here's the thing: tomorrow, he and I are actually going to do a walkthrough experience at a animatronic Jurassic World showcase that is happening in the Dallas area. And so he and I got tickets a couple of weeks ago. You can see all of the animatronic dinosaurs from the franchise, from the movies. And it had really awesome reviews. You get to see like the raptors, the T-Rex, the Indominus, the Stegosauruses, the Ankylosauruses. Like there's a lot of dinos that you get to see. And so I think what we'll do is, if we can't reestablish a good connection with Mondo, what we'll do is he and I will go live in the Intergalactic Peace Hangout, which is a open Facebook group that people can be a part of. He and I will go Facebook Live tomorrow to talk about season 3 and talk about the dinosaur walkthrough experience. So he's a big fan, and he's enjoying his time hanging out with us. Dude, where's your box? I know you can hear me. Show off your box when you get a chance, because I got him this really kick-ass Christmas present during the past holiday season. And no, not your bosom, your box.
Not your 6-pack.
Oh, jeez. I got this really kick-ass present for him on Etsy. Not to brag, but like I told him your eyes are gonna piss tears, and then when he opened the present, he was like, "Oh, my eyes, they're pissing tears." Like,
wow.
He really enjoyed that present.
Yeah,
it's like
he was a real pterodactyl.
Tear. Womp 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 womp.
This episode brought to you by Dino Nuggets.
Okay.
Is that what you're having?
Yeah, how are the Dino Nuggies, by the way?
They're pretty good. I could have heated them a bit more, maybe, but they're still pretty darn good.
I always put mine in the toaster oven.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say just toaster. I was gonna be like, wow, that's a unique way to heat them up.
Just chunk, boing, into the mouth.
Is it like one at a time or multiple within each?
No, it's like 4. It's like 4, but if one of them falls in, then I still got 3 left, so it's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's Mondo holding up?
That's the box that I told you about. What's in the box? It was from an Etsy store that I found where they do that type of stuff, and then his last name got engraved in the Jurassic Park font on one of the sightings there.
That is amazing.
I'm pretty sure that's a Jurassic Park quote that's like, life breaks free, life cannot be contained.
Life finds a way.
Finds a way. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so this is just going to turn into a Mondo showing off his Jurassic Park themed stuff, because that's basically all we can do at this point. Don't worry, we'll get his thoughts on the show probably tomorrow, so don't worry about that. But we're going to go ahead and go into spoilers now. Steven, your full spoiler-filled thoughts on this season, and let's go ahead and highlight some of the things that you felt like were really worth highlighting at the same time. So like go into your thoughts, and then like the key highlights that you wanted to bring in tonight.
Yeah, so the thing that really stood out to me in this season was this question that they raised about midway through, which is like, once we get home, are we still going to be friends? And that's like a legit concern. Like, even if you're like, you don't have to be stranded on an island to have that concern. It could be like, you go to school with people for a few years, and it's like, are we still going to be friends after we graduate?
It's true.
Yeah.
Or you might travel to some faraway place abroad, make some friends there, and you all get along. But then you kind of worry, how many of us are still gonna keep in touch? And it's like, I think even though I wasn't that worried about whether or not they will stay friends after this, so like even with the whole like Darius and Kenji sort of fallout, which kind of felt like it happened last minute, to be honest, but like
Pretty
even
quick.
with
Well, I would contest. Ben said it happened pretty quick. I would contest that this is something that has been building. I would contest that there are certain circumstances that have happened over the last couple of seasons where, when it comes to like Mitch and Tiff, what is happening?
What?
My Alexa is in the other room telling jokes.
Whoa.
Like,
Did someone like break into your house and start like messing with your Alexa?
no, I hit a routine on my Alexa app, which is supposed to turn up all the lights, but I think it also activated the joke sequence or something. I don't know what happened there. I apologize. Anyways, back to the Darius and Kenji fallout. I would contest that Kenji has always been about the people more than the dinosaurs. And this season in particular, he has really started bonding with people. He had a pretty good bond the first couple episodes with Sammy. He was even starting to bond with Yaz during the second season. Like, I think he had a connection with Brooklyn in the first season. So like, he's been slowly bonding with people over the course of the whole show, to the point where he's kind of like the group mascot almost. Like, everybody loves Kenji in spite of Kenji. And the one time that he has to make like a leadership type of decision, it doesn't go well. You know, when they're trying to prep for their departure in the middle of the season, they're almost ready, and Kenji gets left in charge. Obviously, that's going to blow up in your face.
Right.
So now he has another opportunity. He's got a chance to redeem himself, to have a leadership moment in these final 2 episodes. And in that moment, he chooses friends over the dinosaurs. He chooses friends over just about everything else, because that's where his tunnel vision has gotten him to. That this situation has caused Kenji to basically focus on the people around him. And he made that choice rather than following Darius's idea, which put Brooklyn's life at risk, admittedly, a little bit. And so when he said something to the effect of like, unlike you, I don't take chances with friends, or something like that. I don't take risks with friends' lives, I think is what he said.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, that hit home with me. Like, Kenji can be a little rambunctious sometimes. He can be a little out there sometimes, but when the chips are down, that's where his priorities lie. And I respected that, because sometimes Darius loses focus and gets a little too much about dinosaurs, and Kenji was there to center him a little bit. For once, I don't feel like Darius was in the right.
Well, at the very least, you can sympathize with Kenji in the sense that, like, you're up against this thing, and like, I probably would have done what Kenji did, is like, oh, they want the laptop, they have one of our friends, just give them the laptop. Like, this is a no-brainer. Like, don't be the hero, just do it because you don't want to take a chance with this. But Darius, being the altruistic, you know, this guy that cares about not just people but the animals too, you know, obviously he's coming at this as we have a chance to do something. We can have that compromise of we can do this good thing and also get her back. And I understand where Darius is coming from, but it is this, like, what are you giving up to do it? What could happen? And Kenji's like, nah, I'm not doing this. I've been running away from these dinosaurs for the past 6 months. Now it's what do I hear? What did I hear?
I heard something. Did you hear something?
Yeah, I heard something.
Say it again, strange person.
Hello?
The voice.
Can you
Oh,
can you hear me?
Kinda.
Yeah, I heard Mondo say, "Can you hear me?" but felt kind of chopped up.
Can you hear me now?
it was a little broken up there.
I mean, a little bit of Mondo is better than no Mondo.
That is true. That is true.
She said-
I have learned that from
I'm
experience.
disappointed he couldn't turn that into some kind of sexual innuendo. So
That's all I got, man. It's something like that.
But anyway, glad you're here, Mondo. Keep trying, man. But I totally get both sides, but I think it works. I think it works for their characters to go like, this is where their breaking point is, and I'm curious where it goes then, because it kind of, even though you're right, it kind of like it was being set up, it came out of nowhere for me because I'm like, wow, Genji like really went dark there. Like that was not what I was expecting. So going, forward, like, and obviously going into season 4, which we assume that Colin Trevorrow is always like, yeah, my favorite moments in season 4, like there's just so
Is Ben lagging for you, Zach?
Yes, unfortunately
Bigfoot.
so.
Oh. Are you
Hey
good, Ben?
Ben. Hey Ben. Guess whose internet started having problems? Oh man, this is just not our night, is it?
Right, but I get what Ben was saying though. Like you can see both sides of the coin, and like I do think that going forward, like in season 4, I'm sure that Darius will do something that will
noticed. Oh, like I noticed that, like, oh, Steven's having problems. Oh, Zach's having no.
Oh man.
Hello, is
still-
anybody here?
You still here, Benny boy?
Am I in this thing? I think I
Yeah,
am.
you're-
I think I can.
Yeah.
I think I can.
You're here, but also kind of not here.
But
You have
unlike a Mondo here.
you
yeah,
have
you were lagging for a bit.
You had the exact same thing that happened to me at the top of the show, where first you think everybody else is having problems, and then you realize, oh crap, no, wait, it's me. We're getting word that our other panelists are getting ready to join us as well. But Steven, here's the deal. We're not going to ask you to step out if you've still got time available. We're just going to try and bring everybody on, and we'll just go for as long as the server allows us, because Sean says he can hold up to 10 people. And so I think we've bought a decent enough amount of time so far. Like, we haven't gotten too deep into the discussion. So if you're available, we'll just turn it into one big panel as soon as the other two guys are able to join us. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I really am still at a loss as to what we're going to do with Mondo. He only committed for an hour, and it's almost the top of that hour. So, like I said, he and I will try and do something tomorrow after we do the Jurassic World experience, because that's definitely something that's going to be worth talking about. And he and I both saw the Dominion IMAX teaser as well.
I wanted to hear about that too.
Okay, so maybe I'll spend the next few minutes talking about that really quickly while we wait for the other guys to come in. I'm also trying to shoot a message to the group chat and coordinate with Sean, who's upstairs and producing and stuff. Multitasking. So here's the deal. I renewed my AMC A-List subscription just so I could get a free IMAX ticket to go see Fast and the Furious on opening night last night. I really had zero interest in watching Fast and the Furious. It was my first ever Fast and the Furious movie. I didn't watch any of the first ones that like originally came out. I had no previous knowledge about them. Like I saw the commercials. I knew The Rock was in them. I knew bits and pieces here and there. And I was so lost during that movie, let me tell you. Like, there were things that people were laughing about and cheering about that I'm assuming were inside jokes and references to previous movies, but I had no clue. The only thing that I went there for was the special IMAX teaser for Dominion. And let me tell you, I had some serious Battle at Big Rock vibes. There were actually a couple of quick shots that actually looked like they came straight out of Battle at Big Rock.
Oh, wow.
And then they had some things that they tried to make like quote unquote historically accurate to the dinosaurs of previous history. Like they went way, way back and tried to like put feathers on some of them to make them look more bird-like. Hi, Mondo, we see you. We know that we know that you're here, but we definitely cannot.
Can you not hear?
Can you not hear me?
That's what it sounds like. It's so disappointing. Hello, Kitty. That's the best part of the show right there. Just Kitty Cam right there. I think that's Luna, one of his two kittens.
Oh my goodness.
And she is as chill and lovable as any cat you will ever meet. Very affectionate. Will just come hop right in your lap sometimes.
Oh
but,
my God.
But the teaser, historical accuracy, prehistorical accuracy, as close as they could possibly make it. And then they center in on the mosquito a little bit. The OG mosquito that ends up in the amber in John Hammond's cane.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
You actually watch it suck some of the blood out of one or two of the dinosaurs, and then like it flashes forward to showing you like the dinosaurs of today and how like there's definitely some genetic modifications going on there because the dinosaurs of 65 million years ago don't look like the ones that are loose after Fallen Kingdom. And so there's definitely like some vibes there showing you that maybe these aren't the actual dinosaurs we believe them to be back in 1993, because they don't resemble the ones that history says that they were. So it was like an interesting commentary because, you know, back in the 90s, they created those dinosaurs based on the best information they had available in the 90s.
Right.
And they tried to make them look like prehistorically accurate. Obviously, new stuff has come to light in the last 25 years. And so they've updated it to make it look like those things that are different about them are genetic modifications, part of that engineering in the lab type of thing that was going on. And it actually gives a really great opportunity for like a comparison contrast to show how they used to look versus how they look today. I thought that was really, really creative of them. And watching those 5 or 6 minutes made me think, damn it, I want this now.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually creative. Like, I don't know why we didn't think that was a possibility. Like, that's an author's saving throw right there.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
So was it worth it? Was it worth 2.5 hours of cars and magnets smashing and all the craziness? Was it worth it to get a little bit of dinosaurs? Tell me honestly.
I will tell you this. I am seriously considering using my A-list again, where I get a ticket for like a 7 o'clock of Fast and Furious in IMAX, and then try and find like a 7:30 for Cruella.
Oh.
So that I watch the 7 o'clock teaser, walk out of Fast and Furious, and go catch Cruella at 7:30.
That is ingenious.
That is how I'm going to utilize my A-list ticket purchasing, because no, I would not sit through another 2.5 hours of Fast and the Furious for 6 minutes of dinosaurs. But I do want to see it again. I want to like check for anything that I missed. I want to enjoy it as much as I can, as many times as I can, because outside of Camp Cretaceous, that Dominion teaser is going to be the only thing that's going to hold me over for another year. So I'm
crazy.
I'm going to make the most of it. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to make the most of my A-list, and I'm going to do my damnedest to try and advocate for another Battle of Big Rock type of short, so that we have more content holding us over between now and next year when Dominion's supposed to come out.
It's pretty crazy.
I will say.
Go ahead.
I will say really quickly. Sources are telling me that the script has leaked already onto the internet.
I've heard that too.
Beware of what forums you go to and for how long you're going, because you could end up having the whole movie spoiled for you if you're not careful.
There's also some kind of trailers floating around out there too that they probably are fake, but they look darn real. So yeah, be careful of that too if you don't want to know anything. I'm just surprised that they're showing a clip from the movie, literally a clip like a year away. Usually you get something like that, like, you know, a few weeks before the movie comes out. They're like, I think this is more of like a, hey, Jurassic fans, you want to go give some money to the Fast and Furious franchise? I think it's more like that, which they might have my money because I might be going to see this. Plus, I'm a sucker for a dumb action movie, so forgive me.
I mean, I do forgive you. I'm not the one. It's just not for me. It's just not. Like, the whole final fight sequence of Fast 9 involves using like these super high charged magnets to be able to like pull other cars, pull other cars onto the cars that are driving by to like crash into the bad guys' cars and make them veer off of the road. Like, that's not how magnets work. But like, it was really selective too. Like, sometimes it pulls a whole car off of the side of the road. Sometimes when they activated it, it just pulled like a table off of a cafe. like, am I pulling a table or am I pulling a car? I don't know. It was so frustrating.
Well, hey, like I've said this before and I'll say it again. The movies are not my cup of tea when it comes to Fast and Furious. But Fast and Furious Spy Racers, the 3D animated show on Netflix, is so good. Like, everyone should watch it.
It's on Netflix, you say?
Yeah.
It's similar to Camp Cretaceous, isn't it?
Pretty much. Like, the animation style is kind of similar. Like, it's also DreamWorks animation. Like, the animation style isn't completely the same, but it has like kind of a similar vibe. Like, the characters are funny, and I guess it's easier to take, like, to believe that stuff happens because it's an animated show. And I just love the characters, and it's like the animation looks gorgeous. And so, yeah, it gets a high rank for me.
I mean, it's good that they're like the same animation style. And I think, you know, obviously we're heading towards, I mean, it'd be great to see, you know, Camp Cretaceous and Spy Racers crossover, because we all know that Jurassic World and Fast and Furious are obviously going to cross over now. That's going to be the next thing. You're going to be dinosaurs, cars, just crashing into each other. You know, big magnets. Yeah, do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Car-shaped nuggets.
They sent a car into space.
They're going to send a dinosaur into space. Just wait.
They sent a car into space and had the only two black guys in the movie. Had them go into space in like 1960s swimsuits with the pressurized metal helmets, and they're like, we'll blow up like a balloon a little bit, but it's airtight, so we're fine. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Just
wow.
Camp Cretaceous is.
I can't wait. Honestly, I cannot wait.
is a much better watch than Fast and Furious 9. Just putting that out there. Just gonna put that out there. Sean is organizing the guys for the rest of the panel to join us momentarily. While we're waiting, I'm gonna put this to both of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to crossovers from franchises like this, like I'm obviously not in favor of it, but there are people from the Fast and Furious franchise that are interested. There's a lot of fans that are interested. Would you, in all seriousness, as a moviegoer, as a consumer, as a fan of Jurassic and dinosaurs, would you actually go watch a dinosaur movie starring Vin Diesel?
Yes.
No questions asked. No brainer. They got my money. All right. They know. All right. Look, I'll be the first to say, like, that's a stupid idea, but I'll watch it, man. Like, that's going to be entertaining. It's going to be so terrible. It's going to be so bad.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so ridiculous. Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur, Blue, like, in a car, like, Blue is, like, up to her intelligence. She's driving a Mustang or something like that. Chris Pratt on, driving a whatever. Like, give it all to me. Give it all to me. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I should clarify that I probably wouldn't see it in the theater, but I do want it to happen just because I think these, like, the movies are silly to me anyway, so it's like, why not? And so I would watch it, like, later on, like, rent it or whatever. So yeah, why not?
Man, I'm in the vocal minority here, I suppose.
Plus, I know it'll trigger you, so I mean that's kind of entertaining too.
Dude, I would have to bring a flask into the theater.
Yeah.
Straight up, no bones about it. I'm gonna get one of those jumbo-sized drinks that they got at the AMC, and like that much of it's gonna be with whiskey in it. That's the only way I'd enjoy that type of stuff.
Nice.
Sorry. After that being my first experience with Fast and Furious 9, there were some sequences that I was just like, really? Who wrote this? Who thought this was a good idea? And then Chad, one of our patrons, he wrote us in the Peacekeeper group, in the Intergalactic Peace Hangout. Peacekeeper Corps is for patrons. Go hit us up at patreon.com/IPC Podcast if you want to be part of the Peacekeeper Corps. There's some really cool exclusives there that no one else gets to see or be a part of. But I think Chad wrote us in the Intergalactic Peace Hangout asking, can we talk about how the Fast and Furious movies are basically superhero movies? And I shut that down real quick. I was like, no. Folks, we've been podcasting this IPC podcast for 7 years now, and this is the first time I've given anything remotely close to a review of a Fast and Furious movie. And it's like a 5 out of 10 if I'm giving it a Planet score.
Wow.
If that.
I mean, they are like superhero movies, but not all superhero movies are necessarily good, So,
I mean, Doctor Strange wasn't that good. Thor: The Dark World wasn't that good. But I have to watch those.
I mean, I like those a bit more, but
I have to watch The Dark World in order to like better understand Loki a little bit more. So
I mean, even back when Dark World came out, I was like, I don't hate this. I really like it. It's just that Malekith is underwhelming, and that's it. But I know I'm like in the minority with that movie, probably.
And that's what's so disappointing is Eccleston is such a good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I was so excited to see what they were going to do with Doctor Who, and it didn't happen.
We have more people.
It fell short. We do have more people. We've got a couple more panelists. Actually, one of them is like just now waking up on the other side of the world. And another one just finished his Friday night podcast and is like immediately hopping over onto ours. That's how dedicated people are to talking about dinosaurs, folks. We got one in California in Steven. We got one on the East Coast in Star Raptor here. And then another fellow in Bulgaria joining us at, what is it, buddy? Is it like 6 a.m. your time? 6:07 a.m. now?
Oh yes, it is.
Wow. That is dedication. So without further ado, I'm going to say a hello to Dan Grievous and then a hello to Star Raptor. Dan, what are your thoughts? We're into the spoiler section now, but we're going to keep Steven on the panel because we've kind of been like filling in time, waiting for the rest of you guys to be able to hop on. We're into spoilers though. What are your spoilery thoughts on season 3 of Camp Cretaceous?
Okay. First of all, good morning. So my spoilery thoughts is that actually it went into my nightmares and it even more borrowed from them than the previous 2 seasons, and just did go all the way into all these scenarios that I've always wanted to see these movies, explore, or at least some of them have been kind of explored in the movies, and it did them even better. At least I think it did them better than some of the movies. Where should I start? I mean, it's a long season. I think it's longer than the previous 2 seasons. So should I go over the whole thing? By the way,
as much as you want to for like initial impressions, we're gonna do like a point by point discussion as well. But this is like initial impressions that can include spoilers because we're into spoilers now.
Okay. Well, overall, I think this season was a stronger season with much better focus on the characters. Yes, there was a lot of backtracking back and forth, but again, they offered this season a totally different feel because last season we had a big focus on Mitch and Taff, and that's why it was a totally different feeling because the Scorpius Rex offered a much more different situation. I mean, some of the scenes with the Scorpius Rex are downright horrific. I mean, especially the way it's introduced, the first moment where the Ceratosaurus is just dying in the middle. I jumped up because I thought they were just gonna do like this little scary eye show again, like one of the trailers did. And I thought it was like, okay, that's fine. It's good. No, they just and it's dead. It's like, okay. So personally, I think the Scorpius Rex is much scarier and more effective as a hybrid than even the Indoraptor. But I don't like the Indoraptor and I don't like the Indominus, even though they jump-started the franchise in a way. The Scorpius Rex, I think, is a much more interesting design. It offered much more interesting scenarios, especially when it climbs up a tree. Some of those shots, if they didn't have the kids in them, or if the kids were more realistic, it looked like the movies because the trees were. And by the way, that's what I wanted to bring up. The animation looks like it was bumped up with a bigger budget. So, and it looked much better than the previous 2 seasons, especially like the water. Every episode had rain, especially that served the purpose when we came to the last episodes, which felt like they were part of season 4, but they maybe decided to just make it more interesting and add them to season 3, and a lot of more interesting dinosaurs and look. I didn't expect to see a limo in Jurassic Park, and just that was weird, but they play around those scenarios very well, and I just really liked what they did, and especially exploring more of. I think we're not done with Kenji's backstory because they just hinted at it, especially with they were looking at the books and stuff, but there's something more to Kenji. Maybe either his dad is dead or something. I don't know. So we'll see. And the new dinosaur editions, like the Monolophosaurus, which I thought was disturbing at times because the raptors are nice, but I think Camp Cretaceous does it better than movies, because the movies think that we want to only see the Rex, the Raptors, the occasional Stegosaurus and Triceratops, and that's it. Like, there are so many freaky dinosaurs that just would work better as an antagonist, and that's why the previous season was so high on my list, because it added, again, a raptor-like enemy in the Baryonyxes, but they were so different and messed up in the face, especially. And now the Molophosaurus, which seemed like aggressive giant rats, because they just grouped up and just became a problem. And I'm glad that they just explored all these options. That I didn't have one moment in this season to ask, oh, why didn't they do that? That's dumb. It's like, which I have asked myself during Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World. But I'm a person who loves Jurassic Park 3, so I'm not a person who needs to be like judging voice. So overall, I love the season.
Dan, I love Jurassic Park 3 too, so I'm in your corner, buddy.
Woo!
Come
We
on.
That's right, bitches, I'm back!
We can hear the Mondo!
I almost choked on my Dino Nuggie as I left.
We've got the Mondo. He's joining on his phone, but we've got him. Oh man. Okay, Star Raptor, you were nodding your head quite a bit during Dan's monologue. I take it there were quite a few components that he mentioned that you also enjoyed about season 3.
Yeah, definitely. So quick thoughts. By season 1, I really liked a lot. It played a lot to nostalgia, kind of tying into Jurassic World a lot, which I liked. And then season 2 for me, it kind of took a step back because it really dealt with some really kind of dumb villains, which I feel like just took me out of the experience. And now we are back in season 3. I believe this is the strongest one yet because it doesn't have to rely on nostalgia, but it relies on, in fact, what makes Jurassic Park, the series, so good is the sense of fear and also the sense of wonder and bringing in new dinosaurs like Dan was saying, the Scorpio Rex, like that huge surprise. There's 2 of them, and the way they're able to just be just really strange and just disheartening when they're just very vicious creatures, but also seeing things come full circle. Like Wu and all them coming back into the picture. So for me, it was really strong. A lot of the characters got some great development as well. Like Yasmina and Ben, seeing how they start from the beginning and kind of end up towards the end of the season. Of course, there's some things that always kind of plague the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous for me, which is in fact like some of the dialogue is just really cringy for me. But of course, it's more in for an all audience kind of thing. They have to use like the kid lingo and a lot of this, a lot of that kind of thing. I was like, okay, yeah, I expect that's there. And it's like, I don't like it, but I just have to live with it. But overall, yeah, it's a fantastic season. It's the best one yet.
Best
Agreed.
one yet. Oh, wow. Okay, who feels like 3 is the best one they've done so far? Show of hand or say.
Lisa.
I think it's the best one yet. Because, like, love it or hate it, season 2, like, it's great. It does some stuff that is important for this season, especially with the boat. Oh, by the way, I'm sure you guys went over this. The Oranosaurus scene was one of the most horrific and scary things the franchise has done in a while, in my opinion. Those disgusting, horrible duck monsters were just the worst. And especially as a person who has played Jurassic World Evolution, herbivores are the biggest buttholes in the entire game. I've had six separate carnivores living together as roommates, no problem. Okay, 3 of them died in a battle. But if I have a sticky Moloch, a Stegosaurus, a Triceratops anywhere near each other in a gigantic enclosure, they're gonna freak out and they're gonna start panicking and breaking fences and killing people. Disgusting plant-eating jerks. But I don't think, like, for instance, like the second season offered a lot of like different things that the franchise already done. Like they explored a human villain, which I thought for a second towards the end we were gonna explore in this, and thankfully we did not go that far. There was a lot of gruesomeness because they're almost ready to show if they like would have been allowed like to show just the death, but the movie's always done that as well. Like the way like one of the hunters in Jurassic Park 3 dies is when the leg of the Spinosaurus comes in front of the camera because we shouldn't see the body. But season 2 gave us the boats, that is very pivotal in this season and probably the beginning of the next season, which I hopefully goes where I hope it goes. But again, that's it. Love it, leave it. Love it or hate it, leave it. It's not a problem. Here, like we have so much more that just is essential, especially when it comes to Doctor Wu, the boat, and E750. Like it's basically essential stuff. Like if you watch Fallen Kingdom, yeah, there is some redemption possibly, but microscopic. You have to look with a big lens. Here, I see what they're doing. They showed us Doctor Wu at the end, and his conversation with Brooklyn was just, oh, my things are beautiful, but they're monstrous, and I could ruin the world. So this season, the last couple episodes are setting up what I think Doctor Wu is gonna be in Dominion, which is far more important in the long run because this person is gonna be in 4 movies now, and also it's introduced like I still don't know what hit the boat because it wasn't the Tyrannosauruses, and also it's kind of like with I don't know, it's complicated, but again, it's doing a lot of things that I really wanted to do, especially like for instance, the nostalgia trip that was the visitor center scenes were much better done than what Jurassic World did, in my opinion, because like they spend more time there, they carefully like enjoyed, like there were like some inconsistencies, but it was much better than in the movies. And you without the Doctor Wu stuff, especially the connection with Fallen Kingdom, which was absolutely. The moment I heard like them cutting and wanting to get that skull and then the guy running, it's like, oh my goodness, we're going there. Like we're connecting to Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah,
and it's so it's more essential than season 2, not but just as essential as season 1. So. Yeah.
Season 2, it definitely was like, okay, we're gonna spend some time so we can link up with Fallen Kingdom down the road. Not to say that I don't think they were like biding their time, but like there wasn't as much connections in season 2 as there was in season 1 and season 3. And I like that moment when like the guy jumps off on the ladder and you see it in Camp Cretaceous. I'm like, wait a minute, that's that scene from Fallen Kingdom. It just totally caught me off guard.
Yeah, my reaction exactly.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wait, what?
What?
I didn't catch that part. Wait, that was from Fallen Kingdom?
Yeah, the part where the T-Rex like grabs a hold of the ladder. Just go on YouTube. Yeah. Just go on YouTube and search up Jurassic World and Camp Cretaceous comparisons. It will show you like side by side because that whole sequence where they're running around and it's in the dark and it's raining, that's all happening during the whole opening sequence of Fallen Kingdom, where they go in and there's a sub underneath the thing, and the Mosasaurus comes up and hits the guy after he thinks he's gotten away.
Yeah,
same people.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh crap!
And so the movie doesn't show Henry Wu there, but he's there because Camp Cretaceous shows he's there.
Yeah. Basically, the movie did what the Clone Wars did with season 7, basically, and now
exactly.
My man,
best analogy.
My man, it fills in the gaps that you didn't even know were.
Yes, I'm so happy to do.
Mondo, you were the one that pointed it out to me. Actually, he and I watched it together the first day that it dropped. Like he came over and we cooked up Dino Nuggies and we watched it together. And he was the one that pointed it out to me, dude. What, like, I mean, obviously, I know what your expression was, but like, tell the folks at home, like basically what came over you when you recognized the parallels between episode 9 of season 3 and its connections to Fallen Kingdom.
It was amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I would have been anywhere but your love seat, I probably would have pissed my pants. Like, it was outstanding, and I'm really distracted right now because I have a cat, licking my leg, and he just bit me. But
Yeah.
That's awkward.
anyway, I digress. It was amazing, and I really liked it because season 1 you saw the parallels to Jurassic World. Like the whole season was basically one giant parallel animated version of Jurassic World seen through the eyes of kids doing something different on the park.
Yes.
Season 2 was where it kind of started to stand on its own, and now they were left alone, so they fought, dun dun dun, on the park. But season 3, again, they're still in the park alone, but wait a minute. I know, yeah, that's a sexy beard, Zach. Look at that. That is nice.
It was kind of glowing a little bit. I was trying to get the glow off so that it wouldn't be as distracting. Like two sexiest beards on the show right there.
Yeah, that is pretty. That is pretty nice looking.
High five.
I gotta go.
Right.
There we go. There we go.
It worked. Yay for technology and dorkism. Okay, so anyway, eat those dining nuggies, Steven. Eat them, you bad boy. So anyway.
I'm almost finished.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Oh, Mama's big now. Oh my goodness.
You have been. That's right. I am back. I could make that joke. And why did I just get bigger?
That's never what he said.
No, it's not. It's not disappointing.
That's what you said.
Anyway, we're getting way off topic. We don't want to talk about my Oviraptor. We want to talk about Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 3. And when I saw that, I was so excited because it made me realize that there are a lot more similarities to this show and the movies. Like, they're fully connected, which gave me the epiphany, the realization, and the hope that this is going to tie directly into Dominion in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And that made me so damn excited.
Here's the part that is the toughest for me, because based on how the shows have been releasing, like the seasons of the show have been releasing to this point, I seriously thought that, like, when somebody started speaking, it would like go and start highlighting them, and here I am just like up here. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
I thought it was like a vocal cue type of thing. It's like as soon as somebody started speaking, it would go to this person that's speaking. Took a second. Based on the frequency and how quickly the shows have been, the seasons of the show have been releasing, we've got possibly another 2 seasons of Camp Cretaceous in the works, because we've got the one in May, and then when we did another one, it came out like in the fall. So we've got the possibility of getting another one, say in like October, and then we could get another one in March before the movie comes out in June.
Yeah.
We very much have the potential to get another 18 to 20, 16 to 20 more episodes of this show before we even get to Dominion. And I think that's the thing that both scares and excites me the most, is that there is like direct connections to Fallen Kingdom now, and there's about 2 seasons worth of opportunity now to find a way to tie it into Dominion. What do you guys think about the possible ties, and what do you think about like how they could end up crossing over? Steven, you've been a little quiet lately. I'm going to toss it to you. What do you make of like what this show has the possibility to do, and like what kind of potential crossovers there are for Dominion?
Well, so I'm looking at the episode list, and we got season 1 in September, 2 in January, and 3 in May. So it felt to me like we were having a new season for each like actual season, which makes me wonder like if we could have like when does Dominion come out? Like June of next year? So
middle of June, yeah.
Okay, so like potentially there could be like summer, autumn, winter, spring. Like they could do up to 4 before then if they want, but they probably like already like pre-planned how many seasons they want. And I honestly wondered whether season 3 would have tied into Dominion more directly, since like it was supposed to come out this month. But yeah, I think the chances are high that as the show continues, like the next season or next couple seasons or whatever, will definitely be heading toward Dominion in some way. It just seems inevitable, especially with the way that I think it was Colin Trevorrow has been saying, like, yeah, you'll see that our show and the movie are like the same universe or whatever, which I mean is already given, but it's nice that he's like paying close attention to that.
That is one of my favorite things about keeping up with Trevorrow on Twitter. I've shared these photos with a couple of people before, but I found a screenshot of somebody asking him, what is your favorite episode of Camp Cretaceous? And he replied, it's in season 4.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I haven't even seen Colin Trevorrow's favorite Cretaceous episode yet. How insane is that? Star Raptor, like you know Trevorrow, you know his work, you know this show. Like, how could they possibly take it up to another notch where the EP of this show says that his favorite episode hasn't even aired yet?
They go to Isla Sorna. That's what happens. And they see
I hope so.
these Spinosaurus show up at some point. There you go. That would do it for
It's
me.
gotta be what happens, isn't it?
He finally said it. He finally said it. That was something that I really wanted to talk about tonight. They are off of Nublar. They are off of Nublar. But in Fallen Kingdom, we only see one of the 3 baryonyx that get introduced in Camp Cretaceous. Obviously, Tiff kills one of them. There's 2 of them left. We only see one in Fallen Kingdom. Math would lead me to assume that there's one lying around somewhere.
By the way, actually, not to be not that guy to raise my glasses. Actually, actually, I think there are 2. It's not confirmed that they're the same, like Limbo and the other 2. I forgot the names, but there are 2. One is in the tunnels with the lava killing it, most possibly, when Claire and the screaming child run away. And there's one being hauled into the air. So I think one dies in the lava, one is on the land when Fallen Kingdom, just climaxes. And the climax happens in Fallen Kingdom, and then we have all the dinosaurs set free by that little child. So yeah. One thing, it's not a baryonyx because it's the sound is not the same, and but that's a different thing. One thing that I want to say about the Clone Wars parallel, it's more or less I love that it's the Clone Wars of the Jurassic franchise, but in a sense it's more like the 2003 Clone Wars because it's being made while the next movie that it's building up to is still being made. That's like how Genndy Tartakovsky was trying to tie into Revenge of the Sith as best as he could. Now, the thing is that Colin Trevorrow has more hands-on approach to, Camp Cretaceous. That's good. Wow, I'm not gonna say something negative, but again, there are things like Book of Henry. So if he wants to do something like that in season 4, and that's his favorite story, okay. But again, the possibilities are all over the place. We can have we still don't know what hit the boat because that was aggressive. That was not a rock, unless it's a geode from High Republic that's can cross streams and realities. So I'm with Chris. I think Isla Sonar is the best course of action because there is a thing in one of the photos that was shared by I think Colin Trevorrow where they have Site B and Isla Sorna on a box. So maybe that's how they tie it in. Even though I think it would be very, very appropriate, very creative if they have all this connectivity and this work done together, and they're so closely working together on both Dominion and season 4, hopefully 5, is that they showcase the kids in the movies. I'm not saying it should happen, but it has to happen. It could happen, but it has to happen, in my opinion, because it would give so much credence and importance, even more, to the show. Because then you're gonna have like live action Darius. Again, I hope Jurassic Park / World fans experience what the Clone Wars fans have been experiencing with Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian, and all these other elements being brought into live action. So imagine having Darius working with Alan Grant in live action. Okay, that's just
wow.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say here is, okay, Dino Nerd. Real quick, I just want to address something. I love it that last time we talked about this, we all said, "Oh, they're gonna get off the island, and they're gonna go to." We speculated Isla Sonorna was where they were going.
Yeah.
And then I said, what if they go get Tiff and Mitch's boat? And then you guys were like, no way, that's not gonna happen. And then I'm watching the season, I'm like, I called it.
Yes, you did.
Sorry, I gotta pat myself on the back.
Yeah,
look, I am giving credit to all of us the fact that I think we're on the money with our speculation here. I think Isla Sorna is next. They're gonna go from one Dino Island to the next one, and even so, even if they do make it to Costa Rica and make it home, they are living in the Jurassic World now. Post Fallen Kingdom, it's a whole Jurassic World. They can't escape it. And what if they go home and they end up back together and they have to deal with all this stuff that's happening?
Isn't it a 5-year?
Okay, by the way. Okay, can I say that while season 3 ended and it tied directly to Fallen Kingdom's beginning, the beginning of Fallen Kingdom takes place not sure how many months before the events of the actual movie.
Yeah.
It's at least.
I'm not sure.
I thought it was a couple of years.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
I remember watching Fallen Kingdom, and within the movie, I think they said it's like 3 years after the first movie.
Yeah, I think
the idea is that like they're going in like just a few months after for recovery to recover the Indominus, and then when everything heats up, literally with Fallen Kingdom, it's the whole controversy around the volcano is erupting and we have to do something, and that's coming several years later.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe, how is this going to tie into Dominion if they're going to be so far back, like a couple years before, unless they do appear in live action. That would be the way to tie it in.
It could be that. It could be maybe a time jump for the Camp Cretaceous crew that we kind of, maybe they go to Isla Sorna, they have another couple adventures, and then they go, and then season 5 is set around Dominion, and it's a couple years older. The kids are a little older, and they're living in this Jurassic World. They're living in this thing where they've come home, but now the dinosaurs have literally followed them there, and they have to deal with all this. It's fascinating to think like where this could go, because I think this show has already proven itself as doing some surprising things and doing some interesting things with these characters and with this universe, and tying it in the movies better than I thought they would.
Yeah. There are still some loose ends from the first season which have to come into play eventually.
Yeah.
If they have not forgotten about them, like the Clone Wars did with some separatist elements.
Right. And there's always it seems like shows always forget things.
Well, yeah, but they were building this up, and it was like the main reason for conflict in the first season, and the groups like arguing and stuff, and almost like and distrust was because of Manticore, which if they don't like resolve it or like hint, or if they're gonna hint at it, because they have said that Biosyn, the one from the original movie and the book, is gonna be in Dominion. So that means that again, I'm asking myself is because I thought they were gonna even though there was like that drone that got killed and destroyed by and got destroyed by the wonderful, beautiful abomination called Scorpius Rex. I thought that was going to be Manticore, but again, nothing like that. So what I'm thinking is that why didn't they just do Biosyn from the beginning? Just no Manticore, no stuff like that. Just Biosyn and just have them argue with InGen and stuff like they've always done. But I know it's
well, yeah, and they came back to Manticore a little bit because Sammy was like, "Oh, I have to get this evidence or whatever to help my family to take it back, so that it'll have something of value to offer in exchange for immunity or whatever else to protect herself." So they're keeping the Manticore thing going.
Oh, I think we know what's. Oh, now Sammy has been 6 months on the island. She's been living with Bumpy, having good relations with Bumpy and Triceratopses. She's gonna go to the mainland in season 5 or 6. She's gonna go to her parents. They're gonna start adopting Triceratopses, and they're gonna like the trailer for Jurassic World Evolution 2. They're gonna herd some beautiful Ankylosauruses and Triceratopses. They're gonna milk them, and voila, the farm is saved.
Wait! Back the ever living hell up.
Okay. I just want.
Are we really milking some damn dinosaurs?
I mean, if they, like, for instance, during our last conversation, I was wrong about some things. I'm most likely wrong about Triceratops, others, and milking them. But again,
where is this conversation going? I'm the dude over here playing with action figures on a live stream podcast, and you're saying they're going to stick their grubby little kid hands around a Triceratops udder and start squeezing his teeth?
Oh my!
Okay, yes.
You have severely triggered Mondo. Severely.
Okay. Well, I just want to again. I repeat, I want a happy ending for Sammy. Just like
that's more than a happy ending. This isn't a porno.
I mean, kind of related. I gotta say, I thought it was cute when Sammy was like, "Big animals are my thing," and she's trying to win Bumpy over. Like, I thought that was a fun moment in the show.
Right.
Okay.
Our producer sense of humor, that one. Yeah, this is an R-rated.
Bravo.
Oh man.
One other thing I want to say is
yes or no. Before I finish my rant, are we R-rated now? Yes or no?
PG-13.
Okay.
How
do I PG-13? Do you really think Netflix is gonna let a cute, chubby little girl wrap her little chubby little piglet fingers around what resembles a dinosaur dong and start squeezing it until the juice flies out?
But the dinosaur is a female, all of them.
Okay.
Now we're getting into Nickelodeon porn discussion where everybody just has the same genitalia.
All right. Okay, so let's go around the table here and let's discuss our favorite, scariest moments, shall we?
Well, apparently it's going to be when they start tugging off dinosaurs.
Thanks, Mom.
I have my answer. Does anyone else have a good answer for this question? Scariest moment, the moment that actually frightened you.
Yes.
I would probably say episode 5. Like the whole second half of episode 5 was just one nightmare after another.
You're talking about the Scorpius coming to the camp.
Yeah, where they the battery to electrify the fence, and like I still don't even know how the hell they got away, because like every other dinosaur that thing jumped after, it killed. And like a lit up tree somehow helped the kids escape. Like it's a freaking miracle that they made it out of that episode alive, because you really see the brutal, ruthless nature of this creature in that episode. Even more amplified than like the subtle entendres they've been giving throughout the course of the first half of the season. Like that episode, the lighting, the roaring, the usage of the trees, like everything about that episode was just ridiculously intense, more so than I would have expected even from a kids program.
Yeah, the only downside to that scene was like there's the plot armor of the kids was like fully activated.
Yeah,
like because like they should have died. Like they should all be dead because
got really close.
But they give you the closest moment of peril that you've ever gotten with Sammy getting sick. I will applaud them for that. Because there are times in the next episode where they're like questioning their own mortality and questioning their ability to save her, and like it seems like something could end up happening to her.
There's that one moment near the end where like they give her the vaccine, and it's like she's just lying there, and they accept it. They're like, oh my gosh, she's gone, and like they fully sell it, and then she of course she wakes up, but like it's intense. And like, but like going back to that scene, like the moment where like, where is he? And they look up and he's behind them on the tree, coming down the tree. Freaking terrifying. My God.
Yes.
Someone else want to take this question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, but I have a question first.
Oh God.
A reminder. Keep IPC PG.
And would you milk my little Spinosaurus?
That's not a Jurassic Park Spinosaurus, so.
It sure in hell is! Look at his foot! It says JP!
Let the record show that I tried to keep this show back on the rails, and it just went right off again. So what am I supposed to do?
I bought this out of a blind draw Jurassic Park little package thing I bought from the store. Now, going back to the original damn question about what scared me the most. My hair looks really weird. Look at that.
Okay. It is. Anyway. It is. But again, that doesn't mean that bump you're showing me is what you think it is. It's like they have a special bone there. That's not what that bone is.
They have a bone skeleton.
Scary
Armando, scariest moment.
Scary moment in the show. Put the
biology class about dinosaurs. Sex ed with dinosaurs 101.
I'm just gonna put a little Spinosaurus.
I just wanted a happy farming memory with Sammy and her family. That's it. No American Pie stuff, and
For the record, I agree with Dan. It doesn't have to include milking, but something else would be great for Sammy.
Okay,
but scary moments.
Enough about dino fetishes. My scariest thing actually didn't involve the Scorpius. Mine was in the scene with the shipping crates, and I forgot the name of the dinosaur. I feel dumb, but
Ouranosaurus.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex. That thing, you had they took an herbivore and they made it extremely menacing. And you see the Spinosaurus, you expect to be kind of scared and to see some really kind of scary stuff. So I was kind of braced for that, right? I was kind of braced for that impact, but didn't necessarily expect a very daunting scene surrounding a plant eater, right? And I thought that was something superbly badass that they did. And I mentioned this a ton when I was watching it with Zach, is they took what everybody says would be a safe dinosaur and they turned it into something extremely life-threatening and created massive peril out of it.
Indeed.
Yeah,
right.
That was me talking.
Dan, did you have a favorite moment? A favorite scary moment?
Okay, I do agree with Mondo. The Oranosaurus scene was absolute perfection. The music was just excellent. I mean, the music this season has been just wonderful. They've really they know. I mean, I know they do dip their feet into the John Williams music a lot, but that's basically what every other franchise with John Williams music does. But yeah, I do say that scene is again also one of my favorite scary moments. It just freaked me the frack out. But I think
Ooh,
the
you almost said a
moment
bad
when Yaz is running back to the camp with the antidote, and she is confronted in the tree by that thing, that abomination.
God, yes.
Yes, because that shot, because the way it's positioned, because unlike the raining scene with the camp, that scene has a live action looking Scorpius Rex in a live action looking tree, drooling and freaking making almost no sounds. That's horrific. That was awful, disgusting. That's the way it just stops and it blends with it, like it walked down like even worse than the Interruptor, because Interruptor was had the finesse of an elephant in a glass store or something. And this just, it walks down and just but then of course I think that explosion happens, which was again the animation has been bumped so much, bumpy it up, and it looked incredible. It scared the living hell out of me. So yeah, that moment with Yaz running and then being confronted by the abomination.
Indeed. Star Raptor,
Indeed.
did you have a favorite scary moment?
Yeah, everything with the Scorpius Rex. Like I said, that was something that they needed, right? Something that was terrifying, that brought something new, but something kind of familiar, right? So having what it reminded me of, I think I told you guys, it's like you showed me, I think last time we were on the chat with a Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 4, the concept art of some dino human hybrids, and I did get kind of the feel from those things, because they're on their hind legs a lot, kind of lurking forward, and just on the trees, they're more mobile. They had more climbing ability with their more ability with their arms, stuff like that. So overall, that kind of brought memories back whenever I seen those things.
Yeah,
exactly.
Did Steven list his?
I don't really have a moment that really scared me, so my answer is gonna be kind of boring. But I will say though that the moment where Sammy is sick, it felt very real. I never think that these kids are gonna die. I don't think they're ever gonna die in the show, but it was interesting that they inserted that in the story, and it was well placed because it's after they've had this discussion of will we still be friends after all this. And I do think the end game is that they will remain friends, because after this shared experience that they survived together. And I think Darius will do something in season 4 that will sort of redeem him in Kenji's eyes. I don't know what it will be, but I just like the real and very human stuff that they include in the show.
So here's my train of thought about this show tying into Dominion, because I did look it up. There's about a 1.5 year gap between the prologue and the rest of what happens in Fallen Kingdom, and then if there's another gap between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, we're probably looking at at least 2.5 to 3 years between the end of season 3 and the kids ending up in Dominion. They could end up going their separate ways once they get off the island. And the way that I'm seeing Dominion shaping up as far as the cast is concerned, this is essentially Jurassic Avengers.
No, that's not true.
For lack of a better term, you are bringing back the people from the original movies, from the current movies.
Dude.
You're you're bringing people back into the fold the way that they were bringing people from all of the classic Avengers movies back in 2012.
Dude, no. The parallel is more obvious. I mean, I love your parallel because Avengers is the best. This is Jurassic World, The Dino Awakens. They're bringing back old characters from 30, 40 years ago and bringing up a new cast of characters to take the torch or at least finish up the race, because the baton is basically over because they're saying that Dominion is the last one for now. So this is the Force Awakens Dino style.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sorry for being just so aggressive with it. Just I've been thinking about it a lot, especially when I've seen like set photos from Dominion. And by the way, I was wrong. I want to apologize about last time where I told you that maybe we might get something like a Dimetrodon from the set photos in Malta. It's actually something more familiar that is, I think, far more boring. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Mondo.
Not to get too off topic, but I want to point something out. When I hear Dan speak, it looks like he should be coming from Star Raptor, and when Star Raptor speaks, it looks like he should be coming from Dan. Like their faces don't match their voices.
What?
And it's really wait,
I disagree with that.
Like, I don't know why. Like Star Raptor looks like his name should be Han. Like, not Han, but Han. And he should have, like, a British accent. What? And Dan, just looking by his little picture, his little tiny cute little head, just looks like he should sound like Star Raptor. Am I the only one that sees this?
You're imagining.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're the only one. You're the only one. That's the one question when you ask.
Entire universe.
When you ask the question, "Am I the only one?" Mondo, just say yes, because the answer is always yes. All right.
So Chris looks British.
Okay, favorite new dino. Let's get one more question in before we have to wrap this thing up, because we are running short on time, and I do want to get to some of the questions here because I wrote some pretty good questions. Okay. And I want you guys to answer them, all right? So we're going to do this. Dan, you being massive dino nerd here, what was your favorite dinosaur that showed up for the first time this season?
I personally love the Monolophosaurus. It has a lot of features that are similar to things we've seen before, but there's something like I just love dinosaurs with crests. I mean, my favorite is the Dilophosaurus. So I think it's my favorite, and the way it hunted, the way it moved, the way they developed it. Like, one Monolophosaurus is not a problem, but 15 of them, oh my goodness, that's a problem. So that's my favorite. I mean, I personally because I like it, I would buy the toy if it was available here. For instance, the other one that we saw, the Dimorphodons, I despised their look. They're like little buying machines on the rat bodies with wings, because at least the pterodons, the Quetzalcoatlus from the preview, they have grace. They're majestic. These things are rats with teeth that look like little sharks. I hate them. They almost killed Chris Pratt as well.
Yeah, they did.
So Monolophosaurus.
That's great. That's great. I love Chris Pratt's behind the scenes story where he's like, for that scene where like one lands on him and tries to eat him, like there's an actual like little person in a suit that was like snarling and trying to bite him on set of Jurassic World. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Star Raptor. Raptors we've seen throughout the series. They're not new, so you got to pick something different. What's another dinosaur that you were happy to see this season?
Compies. I'm always happy to see compies. There you go.
I love the dynamic of compies. The fact that you like see one of them is like, whatever. it's not a big deal. But then like 50 of them show up. You're like, crap.
What the
Like
heck? What's
it's
Like cockroaches.
yeah, it's the whole. It goes back to like the Lost World. It's like oh, they're just rats, whatever. And then it's like you got 20 of them, and they can kill you. And like they're a real threat to Blue. I like that.
Yeah, unless you got somebody like Ben that's gonna scare him away. It's just like, oh no.
Ben the badass. Steven, favorite dino, new or old, whatever.
Bumpy 5 ever. Bumpy is the best. No dinosaur comes close.
He really is. He's freaking adorable. I love Bumpy, and it was
Better than
I loved his whole arc of like Ben dealing with like leaving him behind and saying, no, I don't want to leave him behind. But then like realizing, hey, he belongs here. His herd can protect him. Her, sorry, misgendered there. And is it a her or him? I can't remember.
It's
I
a
thought we
girl.
were
It's a
drinking
girl.
for all females. We just had this conversation, Ben.
I know. I'm an idiot.
I mean, and Dan's over here talking about milking the damn thing. Of course it's a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, Mondo. What was your favorite dino from Camp Cretaceous Season 3?
All of them. No, I'm kidding. I really liked the Scorpius. And I know that's a cop-out answer, and it's probably not that original, but I loved it because I felt like it kind of gave a possible insight to some of the things we may have seen in the briefcase at the end of Fallen Kingdom. When you're taking those dinosaur hybrid embryos and you see them in that briefcase, I think it would be so incredibly awesome if we see more of that, but in the live stream, the live action.
Well,
sense.
Colin Trevorrow did say no more hybrids from now on, so
You're just a soul crusher.
no, I'm not a soul crusher. He said the hybrids are done.
You're to me like the kid that told me Santa wasn't real in the 5th grade.
No, okay.
Wait, Santa's not real?
Okay, if Zach is Santa, I'm like Zach because I'm throwing truth bombs because he's quoting like Ben and everybody's quoting Trevorrow, and I'm doing the same. I mean, I'm just
All right. Favorite dino, Zach.
Oh, I'm probably in a similar boat as Dan. The Monolithosaurus gave us the predatory fear of the raptors.
Zach.
Did Zach?
It gave us one of those sins.
I think we got you now. Or did we?
No.
Or do we?
Hello? There we are. Okay.
All right. Finally.
Yeah, the Monolithosaurus was it for me because I'd never seen them before. Like I couldn't point them out to you. I don't play Evolution. I don't even know if they're on Evolution or not. So it was a completely new dino, completely new experience for me. And seeing those new predators in a new location, like the Pea House, was just a really cool episode. And then to see them come back towards the end of the season and play a part towards the end of the season as well. I just feel like they were well used and the timing was good as far as giving us a sleeker predatory dino without having to use a pack of raptors again.
But that's the genius of Camp Cretaceous compared to some of the movies because I'm not knocking everything other than Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park the original, but every time somebody has to be a threat in some of the movies, it has to be either Rex, a raptor, or a hybrid. And it just there you have so many different dinos that you could use. Like the Dilophosaurus, my beloved favorite, has been teased for a while, and we have still not seen him, seen her or seen them, because there could be multiple of these abominations, lovely, beautiful, spitting monsters, and yet they always resort to the raptors. I mean, even in Dominion, there's like a rumor or at least some puzzle that came out that there's like more probably going to be more raptors or something. Which again, I personally prefer the Monolophosaurus to more raptors, because like with the Spinosaurus, like with the Indominus, adding new things in a similar situation just makes it more interesting. Because that's like with the like what again, going back to Star Wars, like Lucas did in the Clone Wars with Dave Filoni. Like, you've seen clones versus droids dozens of times. I mean, at least as of 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we make the battle vertical, up a hill? That makes it different. And you've seen a dinosaur kill a human dozens of times, sometimes unneeded, sometimes warranted, like revenge. Why don't we make it a different and more interesting dinosaur? Like, we've not seen a Ceratosaurus being utilized normally in a while. Why don't they have a win? I mean, they're always the punchline of a joke or being dead. So, or others, like, there are a lot of like Herarosauruses or a lot of abominations that I don't want to speak of because Jurassic Park of the game had them, and they were disgusting, awful little things that glow in the dark. Yeah, so more, because if Dominion does the same situation with different dinos, that's just treading similar waters. Which I'm not trying to knock Dominion before it's out, but it's like, again, I applaud Trevorrow for teasing hairy dinos, which I still think the one on the poster with the mosquito is not the same dino we see in the movie. It's not the Giga or the T-Rex, unless he decides to give the the original T-Rex from 65 million years ago some, feathers or hairs as they appear, but it's small feathers. And then Wu decides to make Rexy and remove all those feathers to make her more, slim, slick, cool for the kids in 1993. So I don't know. It's like, for instance, the Giga. It's scientifically inaccurate to have Giga fight a dino like the T-Rex at that time, but it's more interesting because it's a new dino fighting a familiar dino. It's a similar situation, but new combatants, so it's at least more different.
Yeah. All I'm going to add to this discussion is that I hope next season, when I ask what was your favorite dino, I hope one of us can say the Spinosaurus. Just going to throw
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But I think now, I will lead that into our season 4. We know it's happening. We know it's coming at some point.
Yes.
Thoughts, predictions, hopes. Steven, what do you think?
Well, like I said, season 4 they'll probably elaborate more on the friction that now exists between Darius and Kenji. And at some point during the season, like it'll be late in season 4, Darius will do something that like saves his friends or whatever, and
that makes sense.
Him and Kenji like become good friends again, and it'll be water under the bridge. And yeah, I don't really know what else to predict other than what everyone else has said about like the possible Dominion connections.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Star Raptor season 4. What are you thinking? Hoping? Where
I'm
just
just
going.
Yeah, I'm hoping for just more drama among the kids. Like, we got that little tease of something going on between a couple of them there. I don't know how I feel about having more humans injected into the story, more adults. I mean, I guess they could do that, but I still rather vote for having more dinosaur threats in the show. So whether it be a Spinosaurus or a Dilophosaurus or something, I hope we kind of keep the focus on that and just survival, making them really look like they're working for it. Because at some points in the show, sometimes like they're sitting around having pizza. It's like, are they really duking it out here, or what's going on? So I want to see more horror. I think they did great with this season 3. I want to see them keep that up, the intensity of that.
Yeah. Mondo, what do you obviously there's at least one dinosaur on that boat. What dinosaur do you think is on that boat, and what are you hoping for season 4?
I think the dinosaur on the boat is the third Baryonyx. I think Zach's math is spot on with that. And I really do. And because they it had already kind of made a nest on that boat anyway. If you really kind of think about it, like I kind of feel like that was kind of its nesting ground. So
the two of them seem to have settled there after they dispatched with Tiff, and just based on previous. Dan, let me have my thought, please. Just based on previous dinosaur behavioral patterns, even dating back to the Lost World when the T-Rexes expanded their territory after they went to retrieve their young. Dinosaurs are habitually territorial for the most part. And when those baryonyx settled on the boat, I don't see them giving it up that easily. So even if there was a baryonyx that got floated away in Fallen Kingdom, there's not a guarantee that it was one of those three that we've seen in this show. And there's not even a guarantee that this is one of the two remaining. Yes. So I would like to concur that it very well could be a baryonyx, but just also, like you mentioned earlier, the growling patterns were not similar. It seemed a little bit higher pitched than what we have usually gotten from the baryonyx. So if I had to go with a backup option, it might be something a little bit smaller than a baryonyx, but it can't go too much smaller because I don't believe a Monolophosaurus could create the hole that you see in the boat. So it's a tough call for me, but I could see either a baryonyx or a Monolophosaurus being what's on the boat.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So in terms of what I want out of season 4, I've been showing it all night, and the reason I have been is I want to see this guy right here.
Yeah.
Like this is what I want. Like I want this to be the big bad in season 4. And I would tinkle my drawers, okay, if that
I'm coming to your house to watch season 4 then.
Okay.
Live action.
If I will tinkle my drawer. Hey, buddy, how are you? Luna says hi. Luna wants to give her predictions. I'm on Captain. But I will. I'm going to say this for the 5th time. I'm going to tinkle me trousers. If this somehow makes them Dominion because of something they do in Camp Cretaceous. Like we know dinosaurs from the first island make it to the mainland. What if they somehow bridge to get some of the dinosaurs from the second island to the mainland as well, including this guy?
I can't imagine the Spinosaurus not showing up either in Camp Cretaceous season 4 or 5 or Dominion. I can't. It just would make sense. They got to bring that dinosaur back. They got to give him a proper like send off. But Zach, where do you want to go with this?
I'm actually going to toss it to Dan because we're running a little short on time. I'll probably give some more thoughts in the Intergalactic Peace hangout on a live video with Mondo tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But Dan, what are your hopes for season 4, sir?
Okay, I'm going to be quick about this. Now, first about the boat. Now, I hope, because, Colin Trevor has been very active with the community. He's been communicating with people. And I think somebody probably most likely has brought up the thing that he did have like a little Dilophosaurus like make little sounds when that guy in Fallen Kingdom was tinkering with the gates, and like he was teasing a Dilophosaurus, and then the T-Rex shows up and we never see it again. My thought is, because the baryonyxes, when the kids go back to the boat, the baryonyxes are used as a diversion to kill one of the hunters on the mainland when Dr. Wu is already there, and the two are sleeping and they kill because they are like thermal readings appear like the kids, but the hunter doesn't know that, and he dies by the two baryonyxes on the island. My thought is because Kenji goes down into the lower decks to find booze or those fireworks or something, I think it's a little Dilophosaurus hidden in some drawer in the lower decks of the boat, and if something that can cause enough mayhem and disgust and horror, that's a Dilophosaurus on a boat. I could just see them just sailing like a cartoon. A lot of cartoons have done. Oh, we're sailing in the right direction. Oops, we've gone the opposite direction. We're heading into Isla Sorna or one of the other depths. And I think they have to because again, I also hope it's the Dilophosaurus, and I also do hope you guys' hopes and dreams, because the Spinosaurus is number 2 again on my list. I also would love it to be like, for instance, we have had Darth Vader, aka Rexy, in the first seasons. Now it's time to bring in Darth Maul, aka the Spinosaurus. So it would be appropriate to have it in this show. But again, if they're gonna go to Isla Sorna, they have to make it more different or unique, because if they crash on Isla Sorna and it's just them running in a forest again, just more like North American and not Hawaii, it's gonna be a little samey. So maybe they have to have a better reason. Maybe something more horrific or more mad scientist stuff is happening on Isla Sorna, like in Jurassic Park 3, because we've seen that Colin Trevorrow sees and he acknowledges Jurassic Park 3 exists. So I hope we go to Isla Sorna and there's more interesting stuff, including, because I think the Spinosaurus is what made that dent accidentally.
Interesting.
Because maybe the Spinosaurus went to Isla Nublar for a second to see, or at least maybe, because it's not a dent from a Mosasaurus, because that thing is huge. So I think maybe the Spinosaurus was like swimming because it also can swim, because science has tried to ruin this dinosaur for the last 25 years. And maybe it tries to swim and it gets scared off by the Mosasaurus and it runs away. Maybe that could be a scene, like to get some character into the Spinosaurus. We don't know. Okay. So yeah, that's my hopes and dreams for season 4.
Yes. Awesome.
All right. Well, we're getting close to our expected time capacity. Our producer Sean's been working behind the scenes with us, and he's been messaging me saying that he's ready to go to bed. I'm pretty close to ready to go to bed. I know, Dan, you got up early to be a part of this with us, but we appreciate you. There's just a lot of people in the Central and East Coasts that probably need to start closing things down. So we're going to go clockwise around this table, starting with Steven in the top right. And we'll go to Dan, Star Raptor, Mondo, and then up to the 2 hosts. We're going to do our final thoughts on the season and our planet scores for season 3. If you want to plug your materials, this is probably the best time to do that as well, just so we can get it all put together into one neat little package. So, Steven, final thoughts, planet score for season 3, and where can people keep up with you after this podcast is over?
Right. So this season didn't excite me as much as season 2 did, but I definitely enjoyed it more than season 1. So I think I gave season 1 7.25 and season 2 8.5, and season 3 I'm gonna give 7.75 out of 10. Like, it was enjoyable, but I don't know. Maybe if I rewatched it at some point, I'd have a higher score. But that's what I'm feeling right now. But I'm still looking forward to what happens next. As for where you can find me, you can follow me at Steven Schinder on Instagram and Twitter, Steven Schinder Storytelling on Facebook. You can check out my podcast Delayed Replay, where we improvise reviews of movies as if they came out on time, but of course they got delayed. A few people in this call I had recently on the Jurassic World Dominion episode, so check that out. And the episode coming out tomorrow is on the Batman, the Robert Pattinson one. And anything else I'm involved with, you could just check the Steven Schinder Storytelling Facebook page, and chances are I'll share something about it. I'm starting a podcast with my dad as well. We record a few things It's about the progressive rock band Yes, so keep an eye out for that. And you can also go to my website, stevenschinder.com, where I have info on my novel that's out, and sometime in the near future there will be info on the next one. So yeah, and thanks for having me on here.
A very busy fellow indeed. Lots of different avenues that are being pursued. Mr. Grievous, local,
Yeah.
not so local dinosaur expert. Final thoughts on the season, score out of 10, and stuff that's happening outside of this podcast, sir.
Of course. Well, personally, I love this season. Again, even more than the last one. Like, I know I gave the last one again a 10 out of 10, but again, like, so far as this has been the first like series about a Jurassic Park / Jurassic World thing, and that's like there's nothing to compare it to. It's like this is the first Jurassic series we've been getting on a week. Okay, Netflix has been like bingeable, and it's just dropping all these beautiful, awesome episodes that I cannot stop. I like that's the thing. I watched this in almost one sitting. At least, okay, one weekend, but again, just I always want to know what's happening next, and that's something I never felt before because we've never had a series like this. The thing is, this is I would not I will not knock some points out of this or against the previous seasons. For me, this season is also a 10 out of 10. But the thing is, it's like this season is like a red velvet cake, and the previous one was like beautiful chocolate cake, garish. So it's two delicious cakes, but they offer so different of a flavor that they are unique in their own way. You enjoy them both. So I cannot complain. I had them both. They're delicious. They've been wonderful, and I'm ready for the next cake. Hopefully, it's even better and more interesting. That is gonna get, like I've been very happy with what I've been getting, and I can't complain. It's not something I was like, oh, that's the worst. I want them dead or something. Like there's not been that moment so far. Yeah, so I'm very hopeful for the future of this franchise so far. I like the goofiness. I'm one who, again, like to plug the outside world as well. Dan Grievous on social media loves goofy and wacky stuff. Yeah, sometimes some more dramatic, interesting stuff. But like, I like Meeber Gascon from the Clone Wars more than I do Darth Vader. So that's just me.
Nice.
So I like when like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Star Wars, Marvel goes bananas and goes funky and weird and fun. Like Thor Ragnarok is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So that's why I love when the Jurassic movies also go insane. Like that's why the Scorpius Rex was such a piece de resistance to the whole situation, because he was insane. That thing was bonkers. Wu said so. I mean, not in that text, but so yeah. And to plug myself, like the Scorpius Rex did in the entire season, show myself and just say where you can find me. Anywhere on social media. If you search for Dan Grievous, you're gonna see a crazy Bulgarian guy just spouting what he loves about Star Wars or Marvel or something like that, or even Jurassic stuff.
Fair enough.
Yes. So thank you very much for having me in these wee hours of the morning. It's 7:21 here in Bulgaria. It's a sunny day and it's very hot.
I hear you on that. It's going to be another hot one here in Texas tomorrow too. Star Raptor, thanks for hopping off of one show and then hopping on to another one. I know that leads to a long night, but hopefully it was an enjoyable one. What are your thoughts on this show, and where can the folks find you when they're not tuning into this?
Oh yeah, definitely. So of course it's stuff I love, so I have no problem with it, and of course I'm gonna speak. Even if I have work in the morning, it's fine. It's gonna be all right because I enjoyed doing this. But so what I kind of echoed off the beginning of the episode here when I joined is this season really I thought was the best one. They've took elements from season one, They took elements from season 2, left some elements out of season 2, which I didn't like a whole ton. And they melded them all together to create something that I thought was the best yet. They added that fear factor that we love as a Jurassic fan, right? One indicator that instantly tells me that I like this season a lot was I was watching through episode 8. Didn't really look at the episode count ahead of time. So I was like, all right, this is the last episode. Here we go. Episode 8 leaves off on a great cliffhanger. I'm like, oh, cool. This is an awesome cliffhanger. You have these helicopters coming in. All right, I guess it's going to be another 3 or 4 months. And then I kind of like walk away. And then all of a sudden I hear music and I'm like, oh, there's more episodes. I was like, I got immediately like super happy. Look, oh, there's 2 more episodes. Like, so I actually like I know I love this because I literally had that reaction. So with that being said, I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. As far as following me on different channels, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/StarRaptor. I do Star Wars videos. I do gaming videos. I was talking a lot about E3 over the last couple weeks. And I also talk a lot about like the High Republic. There's some new books coming out. So I have some reviews on there. I also started a new Star Wars podcast. As we mentioned, I just came off of recording episode 13 of Outer Rim Transmission. It's a weekly Star Wars show where we break down the news. We also talk about whatever episode of the Disney Plus series came out. For instance, we're talking about Bad Batch every week, so you can follow us there, as well as any podcast service. The new episodes usually go up on Monday: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that. And thanks, guys, for inviting me on. It's been great. I can't believe we're already talking about a season 4 for this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully breaking that down in the next couple months as well.
Absolutely.
Pretty crazy. Mondo, how about you, bud?
Yeah, so I loved this episode, or this season, not this episode. I'm an idiot. But you knew that. I loved this season. It was by far my favorite season. And that says a lot because I have loved this show. And I'm gonna kind of echo what Chris said. I can't believe we're already talking about season 4. Like, I remember last year when Zach was like, "Bruh, have you seen Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous?" And I was actually over at his place, and he showed me the first couple episodes. And he was like, and I was like, "What? Like, it looks like Duplo's, but it's not. It's awesome." And it was super cool, and I really got on board with it, and I really liked it. And it was gripping, and it was intense, and it was fun, and it was a bit goofy, but it's goofy in all the right ways. I'm going to give this season a 9.25 Dino Nuggies. And because I do feel like there is some room for improvement, but not much. You know, I think Zach talked about it on the top from what I could hear, from when I was hearing everything cutting in, out like that. He mentioned the visuals and how they made those improved somehow. Hey, Kat, can I help you? Luna wants to say hi again, everybody. She wants to say, "The dinosaur scared me." But okay, so one thing that was stupid adorable when I was watching, I think it was season 2, when I just got my little guy, Fig, and he was sitting on the couch with me watching, and when one of the dinosaurs came on screen and roared, he ran and hid behind the curtain. And it was absolutely adorable. But as I'm sure my cats have made quite an appearance tonight. Yeah, no, this season was great. And now, where can you find me? Now, I'm the biggest guy on this podcast, probably dimensionally. So you can find me just looking. But no, you can find me on social media at Mondo D Company. It says it right there in my name. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. There's a lot of cool things going on. I do stand-up comedy now. Last Saturday, we actually did Mondo on Deck, which was my first ever full-length stand-up set. And I felt like it went really good. And again, thank you, Zach, for putting all that together. And there's a lot more to come. I always say the best is yet to come, and I fully mean that in my projects. That's right. There are multiple announcements to come soon. So um, go like my social medias and be sure to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos if you find them appropriate to share. And keep a lookout, man. A lot of cool things coming up the pipeline, and I could not be any more excited about what's to come.
I'm pretty excited about what's to come tomorrow. We're going to go hit up a Jurassic World walkthrough animatronic experience happening here in the Dallas area tomorrow. And I'm dressing up as Dr. Grant. You're dressing up as Dennis. So
Yes.
it's going to be a fun time.
As long as my damn raincoat gets here on time.
It better. Boy, it better. You did that
I
extra thing a little bit too late.
If it doesn't,
No, man.
if it doesn't, I'm half tempted to maybe head up a few thrift stores to see if I can find one.
Oh, you got one just down the street from you.
Yeah, I have. I'm in Louisville. I have like 20 of them within like a 10-mile drive.
It's the weirdest thing. Louisville shouldn't be known for that, but they are now, apparently. Whatever. So yeah, go find the Intergalactic Peace Hangout. It's a public group on Facebook. Mondo and I will do a live video there discussing the walkthrough experience, discussing the IMAX trailer, and a whole bunch of other dino-rific type of stuff. And go follow me on the socials. You can see the username right there on the screen, Zach the Voice. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Venmo, like basically everything. It's all the same username. So go hit me up on all those different platforms. And go hit up IPC Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Ben, I know that we're crunched for time. If you just need to say your username and then head out, I understand. I was planning to close things down anyway, but where can the folks at home keep up with you?
Yeah, you can follow me at Ben Hart with no E and at the SWU and at Culture Slate, at Star Wars Culture, and a bunch of other ones. But I really enjoyed this season. I'm going to give it an 8 and a 0.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. I can't wait for season 4. But I will be bouncing now, guys. It was a pleasure. I will catch you on the flip side, catch you in 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for coming. And yeah, this was awesome.
We knew that there would be some interesting time constraints trying to keep up with Eastern time, Pacific time, Bulgarian time, people coming from escape rooms, people coming from work, people getting up in the morning, all that good stuff. But this has been a very fun ride here discussing season 3 of Camp Cretaceous on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. I give it a 9 out of 10 just because I really enjoyed all the components. I enjoyed the extra 2 episodes. I enjoyed the character development, the music, the action, the usage of E750. There were just a lot of really great things about this season and a lot of great things about this episode, including whether or not we should be milking dinosaurs, among so many other things that happened here on the IPC podcast. Thank you to our producer, Sean, for sticking it out with us this whole episode. Thank you to everybody that was able to be a part of this panel. Thanks to Ben for co-hosting with me. And thanks to everybody that watched live and is listening on all our different podcatchers. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another awesome discussion. But for Steven, for Dan, for Star Raptor, for Mondo, and for Ben, I'm Dax, signing off for now. We'll see you when we see you. But until then, good night, everyone.
What does a dinosaur teeth even look like? Did I get that in there? Did it work?